My name is Mattijs Slee. I'm the CEO and co-founder of Battolyser Systems. We're a clean tech company based in Rotterdam, in the Netherlands. And we develop and manufacture an electrolyzer with battery capacity. And that is very special, has unique properties, but I'm sure we're going to talk about it. Our secret sauce? Well, it's basically an iron-nickel chemistry that was originally designed for battery applications. But it had this one quirk. It actually produced hydrogen as you were charging up the battery. And over more than 100 years, scientists have tried to suppress that hydrogen evolution. And actually, our inventor, Focke Mulder, figured out that that is actually a great way to serve the future of the energy system, where you'll have a lot of renewable power on one hand, and you have renewable power that we need to use as to drive our vehicles, for example, but also there's still green molecules required for the part of the energy transition that we cannot electrify. And this chemistry is basically able to use both. Now you ask, why I see you looking so, for example, when there is lots of solar and wind and energy prices are low, our chemistry can convert that energy, that power, into hydrogen. Now, sometimes when there is no sun and wind and energy prices are high, we can actually discharge the stored energy in the chemistry, in our electrodes, to provide energy back to the grid. Well, first of all, I hope we're all successful because we actually need it. I've recently read the Draghi report, and I'm pretty concerned about the state of the European economy. So I wish all the other clean tech companies to, and not just the clean tech companies, but also those are making waves in the digital or in the health space, to come to success and basically build the companies and the industries that serve our welfare in the future. Yeah, ultimately, you can have a great technology, but you need a team to build that up into a commercial product. And sell that to customers, inspiring yet other people that come and join your company. So I think the technology is one part of it, the team, and ultimately your customers and your other sort of partners that need to believe in you are essential to making any company a success. Well, I think like every startup, I started on my own, and then you have a few sort of early believers that come join your adventure, and then over time you find more specialized experts that fill in sort of the depth and some of the knowledge and expertise that you need in order to bring it to the next level, and that requires actually the companies to kind of reinvent itself a few times over. So we're probably in our third incarnation right now, and there's probably a few more to come. And hopefully we'll find the people that either grow along with that journey, or you find other people that are more specific and needed for the next phases to come. Wow, so many. I mean, initially we started with this technology, and yes, it worked in the lab, but it took us 2 years to demonstrate that in real industrial life. And believe me, if you believe a comfortable life prior in my career and joining something new and sort of have to wait 2 years until that technology actually reveals itself, it's quite scary and challenging. New things that now coming up is all right. We have a technology that works now. We need to take out costs. We need to ensure its quality. We need to improve performance. For that, you need capital. You need customers in a market that is highly regulated but still very uncertain. So even though we all know where we're going, the actual amount of projects that are taking place, particularly in the Netherlands, I must say, is very limited. So those are challenges sort of in the here and now. And the challenges I see coming for the more future is how does Europe actually can stay competitive against outside forces, China in particular, where they have such a master plan that rolls out over, not years but decades. Where here in Europe we are trying to sort of optimize every project and make every IRR of a project in the here and now work. Whilst if you master plan this over decades and you basically see that the projects that we're doing right now are simply just small de-risking steps of a much larger future economy that we need to build. So, yeah, basically try to zoom out of a local optimum and focus on the global optimum, which is actually decades from here on now all the way to 2050. So last year we delivered the pilot that I just spoke about. So it's taken us 2 years to get there. So that was our big 2023 milestone. For this year, we're scaling that up to a full megawatt-scale demonstration unit in the Rotterdam port area. So that would be the major milestone for this year. And for next year, actually, we're trying to introduce a new generation product with yet better performance and cost properties. I think we were fortunate to obtain and agree a venture debt with the European Investment Bank already some 2 years ago. And this is basically sort of a sequel perhaps that has come out of that relationship. I really think that we need to think beyond sort of the national borders and try to make this work as Europe as a whole, because basically any individual member state is simply not big enough to deal with the challenge of the European competitiveness overall. So yeah, we have to not only learn from one another, but we actually need to help one another to make that of enough gravity to be impactful. Well, personally, I mean, this is just day one, right? So it's we'll have to see. I would really like to obviously learn from others that have been in a similar journey like ourselves. It's a mentoring program, so I'm looking forward to the right mentor that can actually help us and make sure that we probably have to. We'll make mistakes along the way, but probably the mentor will help us, not make too many unnecessary mistakes. So yeah, learning from peers, I think that I like, connecting with new people, particularly investors and customers, and perhaps finding that one mentor that sort of points us in unknown directions. Yeah, who knows? Wow. So I mean, what we do is it's very much a clean tech company. So that's our space. We want the energy transition to take place not only as soon as possible, just to minimize climate change, but basically also to minimize cost to society. Renewable power, solar and wind are clearly kicking off. I think we have, though, come to a point where we need to integrate renewable power, solar and wind in particular, in order to allow to roll out further and basically address sort of the full energy system. And for that, we need to integrate that energy into energy systems. And for that, you need batteries, heat pumps, demand response, and battolyzers. And I think we really need to focus to make sure that whole system works as a whole. So let's not just focus on we need hydrogen for sustainable aviation fuels or any other applications, but just let's focus on making sure that we build an integrated energy systems all the way from, well, the solar and the wind, which are sort of endless sources of energy, to the end consumer that basically wants to have a comfortable, abundant, and clean way of living.